What is going on, guys? My name is Chris. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to have an awesome, epic off-road adventure for 500 bucks. It's really simple. It's called the Gambler500. If you haven't heard of it before, it's a pretty sweet off-road adventure set up by Tate Morgan and his crew out in Oregon, and it's sort of spread all over the United States. So one of the things about the Gambler500 is you start off with a $500 car, you go out with your buddies, get some whiskey, get a tow strap. That's all you basically need. So this is a true $500 car. It's a 1993 Ford Escort GT. $500 cars usually are going to be kind of beaters, bangers, and this is exactly what you want to use. This is the OG way of doing the Gambler500, is to start off with something like this. Unfortunately, I've got a sickness where I like to basically make crazy crap out of these cars. So what I'm going to be doing is, instead of just leaving it this way and doing the Gambler, which I do believe is the proper way of just taking this out stock, I am going to be modifying it. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of what that entails. So today I'm going to be showing you everything, sort of the entire build of this car, and then taking it to the Missouri Gambler to kind of go ahead and christen it. But this is going to get a couple of different things. So first off, we're going to go ahead and lift it. I'll show you how to lift this car for 20 bucks with a cutting board. Second is we're going to put some different tires on it. We've got wheels and tires back here. I'll explain that process. Third, we're going to do some body modifications so that way I can make it look more like a professional rally car. And then finally, we're going to paint it. Once we get done with that, we take it out, it should be good to go. So thanks for joining us, and hope you enjoy. All right, so since we've decided not to go OG status with this car, we are going to go ahead and lift it. There's not a lot of lift kits out there for 1993 Ford Escorts. So what I'm doing is I'm resorting to a cutting board. So this is just an Amazon special, like 20 bucks. Get a 1-inch thick cutting board, cut you some pieces. Drill some holes. And you got yourself custom spacers. Put these on top of the struts. So I did have to lengthen the bolts. Went to the hardware store, a couple of bucks, got some bolts, put them through. So now we can go ahead and have our 1-inch lift. All right, well, holy shit, that scared the heck out of me. We got ourselves our rear strut out, and as you can see, we got some parts missing on the top. Well, they're down here. They exploded basically as I took that thing off. This is the biggest piece that's left. We got some stuff over there as well. But yeah, this is the strut brace or bracket or whatever for the top that sits and holds this entire thing together. When I took that bolt out, this thing basically exploded, shot that spring out. So watch your toes when you're working with these. I guess I could order another one, but it won't be here in time, and I want to get this thing together. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'll just make myself one. Looked around the garage. This is the pulley for an accessory off of a 1.8 liter engine. So exactly the motor that's in here. As you can see, I kind of moved the center because where this one would be. I just measured the other side. And I put my two bolt holes there, so we can go ahead and bolt this on top. We'll have ourselves a new strut mount. I'll go ahead and add a kind of a 1-inch lift to that and put this thing back in, but wow, that scared me. And that is what our finished custom lift kit looks like. So, barely see anything up there. I guess you can, just a little bit of green up in there. But yeah, so that's 1 inch. All right, this is with the tires back down on the ground. So as you can see, a 1-inch lift gives you plenty of extra space now. So much room for activities. Next step is tires. So for tires, you've got a couple of different options. The first one is use the stock ones that came on the vehicle. That's probably the most gambler way of actually doing it. The next is to probably go to a junkyard or something, get a little bit larger tire there. Try and look for something that's maybe an all-terrain or something. Additionally, people also buy mud terrains to put on these vehicles. Unfortunately, a lot of the mud terrains, the really good tires, are like 30 inches and above, and I'm not going to be able to fit those on here. So instead, what I'm doing is I'm using snow tires. So snow tires have a couple advantages. One, you can get them in these sort of standard sizes. This is a 215/70 R15. It's got good tread pattern, good lugs and everything. I like how it's got all these grooves cut into each of the lugs too, so they're a little bit more malleable. Makes them a little bit soft for going on the trails. I like them also because they're cheap. During the summertime right now, like it is, winter tires are basically clearanced out. So these are probably last season's tires. I went ahead and picked them up for about 55 bucks a piece. Then for wheels, you can use your stock wheels. Then just use like a spacer or something to get them away from the shock tower. You need to use about a 3-inch spacer though to clear some of those shock towers sometimes. So instead what I suggest doing is going with these Bassett's. So these are Bassett steel rims, these are like circle track rims. What I like about them is you can order them with whatever back spacing you want. So this has got 2-inch back spacing, so you can see it really pushes that tire out and everything. I like these too because it's about 50 bucks a piece, 55 bucks a piece. So for about, you know, a good set of spacers to be able to space the tires out would cost probably a little over $100. These cost 200 bucks. I still have all my old rims and tires now that I can go ahead and sell, maybe make some of that money back. And this is a much better option. And when you get done, you put them on the car, they look sweet. So as you can see, everything from a spacing perspective worked out. You can see I had to use special lug nuts with these tires. You do have to use a special lug nut. You have to use a 45-degree face lug nut instead of the normal 60-degree because they're not hub-centric and the lug nuts basically position the wheel and center it and everything. But for right now, I am super happy with how these turned out and the sort of stance that it gives it. So as you can see, next step is we need to go ahead and do some custom body modifications. We'll move on to step 3 and modify this thing to look like a professional rally car. Alright, so the first step in the body modification phase is to go ahead and tape off kind of what you want to do. So as you can see up there for the front fender, I've kind of taped off. And here on the back. What I like about this tape line measurement type thing is you can take witness marks and duplicate it on both sides. So, alright, so this is how you do a super simple wide body. All you do is just tack on, you need a welder of course, tack on a couple pieces of, I think it's like 1/8 inch round steel, basically to the points where I marked off, maybe not the points where I marked off, maybe it's different points, who knows, we're making it up as we go along, but basically this is kind of going to be the shape of our wide body. So now that I've kind of got this basic framework done, I can go through and go ahead and just make some paper templates, and out of the paper I'll then transfer that to steel. Out of steel, we'll cut it out, start tacking it in place, and bam, custom wide body for the rear. So I did not decide to cut the entire thing and extend it like I thought I was going to, just because there's so much rust and crap in there anyways. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut out the side of the fender right there and then roll the inner fender up to give me clearance. But all that will basically stay behind, and then I'll do some sweet fins out the back, make it look like a rally car. Coming along. Alright, so we got both the back sides done. As you can also see, cut out some additional room in this fender well. Went ahead and rolled the inner fender up. We'll go ahead and fill it up with some foam and some other stuff just to make sure no water gets in the car. As for the front, you see my tape line from earlier. Went ahead and just ran a cut along there, and technically this should just come off now. Now, still gotta do some work down there, but basically that's all we need to do to wide body it. We'll go ahead and cut that. Alright, so now that we got our sort of wireframe up there, kick this out 3 inches, cut that line like I talked about. Next thing to do, I'm gonna do some paper templates. This is the kind of the cool part where you can start to see how the car is coming together and how it's gonna look. So we may end up building another piece that goes down here, who knows, we'll play around with it. And then here's the back flare. Again, this is just construction paper. It's like $10 for a 100-foot roll of this stuff, but it gives you the visualization of what this thing's gonna do. So next, we just basically take those pieces of paper, cut them out of sheet metal. I've got my sheets over here. We're gonna go with a 22 gauge. It's a little bit thin, but honestly, it's, you know, it doesn't need to be super thick to be a gambler. Alright, so we cut those pieces out of metal. As you can see, a lot more dust. Cutting and grinding. Fill this area in here. That's nice and solid. And we got our back fenders done. Or back fender done. Still gotta do a lot of cleanup and everything, but it will, yeah, I think it'll look fine when it's complete. But for the most part, I'm liking the profile of this car now. Alright, so we're starting to get some color on this thing, starting to get some stripes going on. You guys can kind of see the theme that we're going for. This side, I did the 2 outside stripes, and I came back and we do the orange in between. That takes too long. So instead, on this side, what we're going to do is just 3 tape lines. So we'll just have black tape lines in the middle, don't really care. So we'll start off with the middle one with orange. Kind of a little trick for painting a gambler. If you don't want to tape off the windows, just roll them down. That way, you don't get any paint on them. See? Brilliant. So we'll go ahead and get this thing painted up. And make it look like a rally car. Alright, so we're getting ready to go to the Gambler. Car does not actually currently run. We'll just tow it there. I think I'll back it out of the driveway, swing it around, see if I can't get it on the dolly. So we'll take it, we'll just basically go get it filled up with gas. I think the only issue that I've got, I think it's a bad ground. So we'll fix that when we get down there, but so we'll just stop and I don't have a way to put gas in it. Alright, we're gonna do one more modification to this car. I guess I gotta cut a hole right there and put gas in this thing, but we'll get it rolled out of here up onto the trailer and everything, and try and get it started. It looks like, yeah, I may have left the keys on overnight too, so that's gonna be great. Still a lot of things to do, no time to do them, but we gotta head out. So we made it to the Gambler500. Social distancing. Lots of plenty of land and everything. Trip was super exciting. Car came off the trailer. See there where the tire was rubbing. So God.
Die. He'll hit the shot. If he dies, he dies. He'll hit the shot.
Oh! Oops.
Flex, bro.
So the last part about the Gambler, obviously rule number 1, don't be a dick. Like this guy right here. Made it out here, but the biggest thing too is cleaning up trash. So as you can see, these public lands, people basically have used these as dumping sites, so we come out here and clean these things up. That's the biggest part of the Gambler, is to basically, you know, utilize these public lands as well as to clean them up. So car's doing well. Had to do some modifications to the fender on the trail and everything, but for the most part, that's gambling. Well, I didn't have time to put on a snorkel, and here we are, standing in the middle of a creek with a dead car. Oops! Let's see what we got. Those floorboards are gonna be a little musky smelling, I'm sure. Had to dry off all my shit. Alright, so that beeping noise that you're hearing is the fact that my alternator is dead. I think I wiped it out when I flooded the car, so we got the car running again. So we finished all the waypoints and everything, but now we're on our way back. I'm running just off the battery. So that beeping that you're hearing is the everything is fine alarm. So that's good. So everything's fine. So anyway.